Retro Gaming Revival live.
Good evening, everyone. It's back to being Wednesday. It's just after 8 o'clock. That means it must be time for Retro Gamer Revival Live. Thank you, everyone who is joining us live. We'll get to who's in the chat in a little bit. You are all very, very, very welcome here for our special episode. So before we get to our guest of honor this evening, we have got joining me is Mr. Blunners.
Hello.
And it is just Mr. Blunners this evening. I know Ben is having a bit of a time trying to get everything sorted for his big house move. There's lots of stress going on there. Tim is not very well again. And Ryan is still, I think, reeling in from all the Evercade stuff that's going on at the moment. So everyone is going to have to put up with just me and Tim this evening. But our guest of honor this evening is Paul, a.k.a. the middle-aged gamer guy. Paul, welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much, Andy. Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
Thank you so much for coming on, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Lovely to be here. Lovely to see so many people in chat as well. I thought by having me on your show, I might have decreased your figures, not help boost them. So
I don't think that's possible, mate. Don't think it's possible. But no, thank you so much for joining.
Hello. Thank you so much, Andy. Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
There's a little bit of
that was my phone.
Is that you? Got a bit on there. Yeah. Yes. There you go. We are live, as we like to say. So we first met you at OLL earlier this year. That was really good fun to meet you there and sort of strike up a bit of a friendship. So it's
It was such a good event. Bit odd event for me, not gonna lie, because it was kind of that thing where got to meet so many amazing people, and there's so many people that I would say are far more qualified than me to be standing on a stage. But it was weird to actually have people coming up and asking for autographs and stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is happening now. It's a thing. Okay, so it was odd, but I loved every minute of the weekend. It was so well run. It got to meet people that I knew like online and never met in person. People like yourselves that I'd never met before, and then other people that I'd met before at other gaming conventions, and it was my only regret is I wish it was a longer weekend because it just didn't last long enough.
It did. It really did fly by. But it was a real highlight getting to meet people like yourselves and just have lots of fun. So yes, hoping we get to do it all again next year as well. Yes, and there'll be another event which we will come to later on in the show where we can get you to plug it as well. So for anyone itching for more retro gaming or just gaming conventions in general, there's a couple coming up, including one that Paul will definitely be keen to talk to us about this evening. So the first topic that we like. So what is it that you can remember about your earliest gaming memory that sort of pulled you into this wonderful, weird and wacky hobby of video games?
So I was a child of the 70s. Like I'm talking like as right at the far end of the 70s you can get, because I'm like December of 1979, right?
Okay.
So there's not much left of the 70s. But my folks had already bought an Atari 2600. So by the time that I'd learned to walk and talk and crawl, the first thing I got my hands on was Pong with the little paddles.
Mm-hmm.
And you also come with the joysticks. So there was Combat with the tanks, Outlaw, Yar's Revenge. So that got me into the game. Yeah, Yar's Revenge, such a good game. And it got me. And the funny thing is that console lasted a lifetime, because even when we got into the early 90s and I was playing like Nintendo and Super NES, Atari was still bringing out cartridges for that. And to be honest, a lot of them were really crap conversions of games. Like, hey, it's Double Dragon, where all the sprites just look like a blob. But it's like, yeah, it's cool. I'm playing Double Dragon on my Atari 2600, and I have very fond memories, and we still have got that console. My folks have still got it in their house.
Yar's Revenge is a favourite of Dorbs's. He won't admit it. He won't admit it. No, I think he actually hates the game.
Oh, really? I love it. Oh, but it is new, Dorbs.
No, we love poking him about Yar's Revenge. Just everything about it. It's like, let's make sure it's got Yar's Revenge on it for him. Make sure he's really truly happy with that.
I really honestly didn't know. This has not been staged. I genuinely, that's a thing. So I didn't know. So Dorbs, next time I see you, I'll make sure to rub that in your face.
Excellent. I think we'll have to have some sort of Yar's Revenge top score challenge between you and Dorbs. I think that's going to have to happen. Yeah, then he'll have to actually practice to get good at it as well. So that's going to happen.
It's worse than Final Fantasy VII.
Wow, Dorbs. I mean,
wow. Okay, that's a statement enough.
I had to put it up.
I'm sorry, Paul, but I'm going to take that because Dorbs really doesn't like that game, and that is my
I've seen
favorite game of all time.
He really rips into Final Fantasy VII, isn't it?
Yeah, my favorite game of all time. But I'll take that if he thinks Yar's Revenge is worse. Like, sweet, we're not ripping on Final Fantasy this evening, so that ticks a box here.
Refreshing change, then, isn't it?
It is. So from Atari 2600 and that sort of era, what was next in store for you gaming wise?
So it was a Spectrum Plus 3, the one with the disc drive.
Wow.
And I remember you did that thing that you always did when you were a kid, where you go, Mom, Dad, I need a computer for schoolwork. I mean, what was funny is they never even realised, and it came with an ocean selection of games. But there was also other games that came with, like, it came with Gauntlet, Green Beret, Cobra, Short Circuit, which apparently you can never complete. I only found this out a couple of weeks ago. I used to love that game, and there was two parts. There was an adventure part where you had to solve the puzzles, which you could complete, and there was like this marathon challenge, which was like a shooting run and gun thing. But apparently, you can never complete that because there's a bug in the game.
Wow. Okay.
And I never knew. And I only found that out.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
I'm wounded just thinking I was rubbish at that game. And I mean, I am still rubbish at that game, but it turns out it doesn't matter how good you are. You never get past it.
Exactly. So, Short Circuit. Wow. I mean, we like to go on a tangent on this show.
Yeah, there's a rabbit hole.
While we're on the topic of Short Circuit, the guy that plays the Indian guy in Short Circuit is 100% Western American.
Yes. Naveen Andrews or something. He was in Lost and a load of other stuff. He was in the Super Mario Brothers movie. He was one of the little brothers.
Yeah, he was Iggy. And he was in the Hackers movie.
Yes, he was the bad guy in it.
He was that 90s extra thing. But anyone that sort of loves Short Circuit, you're like, it's a little bit racist. It's got a bit of blackface going on.
Fisher Stevens. Thank you, Mike.
Fisher Stevens. Yeah.
Amazing actor. Great films, massively racist. There you go. That's what we've learned from that. Yeah.
There we go. Short Circuit. There's not often you get to pull that Short Circuit fact out without just sounding weird. So I greatly appreciate that. Yeah. So was home computers, was that sort of more your thing growing up?
It was for a fair chunk. It was Spectrum Plus 3. All my friends had Amstrad, so they all laughed in my face. But then it was kind of from that got into the Nintendo era. So then it was like the NES, SNES. Weirdly, I never jumped into the N64. I jumped back into PC gaming. So it was like when Doom, the first GTA, all that came out. Stuck with PC for a long time. So missed like N64, Sega Saturn, all that, because all my friends had those. And I was like, oh, well, they've got them. So I don't really need to get one. And then kind of was late to the party on PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
But had that for many years and then made the jump to Xbox. And then it's been Xbox 360, then an Xbox One. And then obviously then it was an Xbox Series X. but swiftly followed by a PS5, a Switch, and a gaming PC because of what I do. I have to play everything on everything. So it's the first time that I've had everything in like the last 2 years or so.
Yeah. It's bizarre that you say that, because this is possibly I say I'm not multi-console. I definitely am. I've got a PS5 and a Switch, but this is the first time for a long time that I've not dived in on the big three all at the same time. I've sort of just put off an Xbox at the moment, and I think the thing that's probably going to really pull me in is Starfield, and that will be what I jump in on.
Fingers crossed.
The next X. Yeah, let's hope it's great.
Yeah,
it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I after, because I'm talking about this a couple of weeks ago when you talked about the Xbox showcase and the PlayStation showcase. Do you think that after that, I wasn't that fussed about that game, I'll be honest. I didn't really care for it. But after seeing that half-an-hour presentation or where it was, I was like, okay, you've now got me interested for after being burnt by Redfall. I was just like, I've had it, and Fallout 76, I was like, I've had enough of Bethesda. But this is kind of, so yeah, don't let me down, Bethesda, because if you do, you're never going to hear the end of it from me. I'll tell you that now.
See, it's the sort of thing I thought that my son would be bang into, and I was like, "Did you see that? What do you think of Starfield?" And he's like, "Anything that delays the next Elder Scrolls game is just irritating me."
I'm not a fan of the Elder Scrolls. I've played them, but I'm not a huge fan, so I'm not that fussed about that.
Yeah. Shocker. Okie dokie. So you're currently everything gen now. You're PC, PS5, Series X. Switch.
And Switch. Yeah. I very much have to be. My I know she's in chat, so I'm going to say hi to Amy, who's my show producer. She keeps me on my toes because she keeps throwing different games at me. And she got very frustrated when it was like, how have you not got a PC for PC gaming and stuff? And I was like, all right, I'll get it. And she's introduced me to a load of stuff. I have to say, some of that still to this day, there's a lot of great stuff that comes out first on PC. But then there is that annoyance because, like, for ages I put off wanting to play Phasmophobia, and then finally got it on PC because I thought it's never coming to console. And then 2 months later, they announced it's coming to all consoles this August, and I'm just like, you can't win. But there is a lot of games that I think, this only would work on a PC. But then you get the same with. So I'm still a console gamer at heart, and I always will be. My majority of stuff is on. It's mainly all the Xbox. A lot of the stuff I play is Xbox, but I do get sent a few games that are like not just PlayStation only, but weirdly like Street Fighter 6 and the Crash Team Rumble game that came out recently. They got sent to me on PlayStation. I didn't ask for them on PlayStation. I just said, whatever you give me. They sent them to me, and I was like, cool, I'll play this on the PlayStation. But it felt right instantly, those games being on a PlayStation. Yeah.
Have you not got into VR at all?
That's the one thing I haven't. It's really annoying. I'm in between studios. I used to have a really cool studio. If anyone who's seen me before, which had quite a lot of space, so I could dance around like an idiot. I'm in between studios at the moment, so I've just got this very small space, and what you see is what I've got. So if I tried to do VR, I would smash my whole setup to pieces. But it is on my list eventually. Once I move to my new place, whenever that may be, later in the year. I'd love to do some VR.
Tim and Rager are the VR kings.
They are.
Just do a bit of Beat. I'd love to just do Beat Saber, just for that alone.
Yeah,
it's a good game.
Yeah.
Right. Swiftly moving on to our next topic. Good evening, Scott. How are you doing, buddy? Yes, next topic can be divisive. There is no wrong answer. Well, no, there are some wrong answers. So, what would you say is your favorite game?
What, of all time?
Yeah. Or if you have a few games that you sort of always have at the top that maybe alternate.
I'm drinking tea. I'm so rock and roll. Okay, that makes my life easier. So I'm sure this came up the other week on your show, actually. I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed 2. I still think that's one of the best Assassin's Creed games there's ever been. And that's definitely in my top 5. So there'd be that. Half-Life.
The original.
Brilliant game. Loved Half-Life. Again, this will annoy some people. Never played Half-Life 2. What's that about?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm very random. I play a lot of games and then don't play anything that anyone actually likes. And then Far Cry 3 is outstanding, and it's just a shame that the franchise went downhill from there. What else would I say? I had a really random game I used to play on my Spectrum called Maelstrom, where you play the characters Postman Michael Nasty, where you used to use rocket bombs to blow up pigeons and blow people's doors if they didn't take your post. I used to love that game.
That sounds awesome.
Going around trying to clobber you and nicking the post.
Yeah. There's so many random games like that. Again, tangent number 2. Of weird games that I remember. I would love to be able to find the disc because it was an old PC game that we sent off for. We got sent. It was on like some sort of demo, like PC Gamer magazine, like way back in like the mid 90s, and it was before Kickstarter and all that kind of stuff. But it was, if you wanted to help finance this game, you could send a tenner in the post, and then you'd get a copy of the game if it came out. And it did come out, and it was called Robosaurs versus the Space Bastards, and. I have such great memories of this game to the point that no one else seems to have ever heard of it. And I genuinely am going to have to Google it now because I feel like it was just a weird, long, trippy memory that didn't happen.
It's called Space Bastards. That sold me on it straight away.
Space Bastards.
I've got to see this now anyway.
Yes, there we go. Look at that. There is stuff. I can share the screen. It's just from coming up with strange games when you sort of say things that people haven't heard. That was the first thing that came into my brain. Now it presents share screen, just so that people know I'm not completely mad. There we go. Robosaurs versus the Space Bastards. Like a side-scrolly platform type thing.
Oh wow. Oh, is it a bit like a Commander Keen kind of vibe?
Sort of. You just had to sort of get to the end and kill all the Space Bastards.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. How random. I haven't thought about that for years, but there
you go.
That's happened. Sorry, I've got to bring this up. Dorbs is talking about making tea wrong in the chat there.
What's he saying? Love tea, milk before hot water. Get out of town, Dorbs.
Honestly, you hate Yar's Revenge, you make tea wrong.
Yeah, why would you put milk in before you put... What's wrong with you? I met him at OLL, he seemed all right. I'm not so convinced now. What's going on?
Oh dear, shocking behaviour. Shocking. Okay, so with those as your sort of top games, what would you say is your favourite console?
Oh... Do you know what? Just for pure... I mean, I know I went on about the Atari, but for pure nostalgia, it's got to be the NES for me. I got the NES. Again, I was late to the party. For most of the time, at least, except for recent years, I've been very late. I was always like a couple of years behind everyone else getting the consoles. And I got the NES when they did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pack. So it came with the Turtles game, which everyone said was really difficult, but it's one of the few games on the NES I actually completed. But I loved it. And there's loads of other games. I have many fond memories playing the NES on a tiny little TV that was probably about that big, up in a conservatory, which one of those things where you pull out a TV on an arm, things like that. But it'd be the middle of summer, so the sun would be glaring on the screen. So the only time I could ever play it in the summer was when it was like after dark. But then in winter it was great because I could play it from like 4 o'clock in the afternoon because the sun had gone. So it just has fun memories of it. I just love the NES and everything about it, and just the fact that you could get like horrible indents in your thumbs when you had to press the buttons really quickly, and it's just basically you had like the A and B button imprinted on your thumbs for the next 2 hours after you finish playing.
Yeah, the NES is a real love letter. I think for me that was the first console that I ever got, and the first thing I ever really sort of played video game wise. And there's just some, arguably some of the best video games of all time have come out on that system.
Oh,
there we go.
Yes.
There is one of them.
Beautiful game.
Metroid, yeah.
It really did sort of.
First time I saw one of these. First time I saw one of these.
Oh, the Game Genie. Yeah, I had one of them.
First time I saw one of them. Weird.
I had some great fun with them because even if you weren't using them to like complete a game that was rock solid, there were some things that just messed up the games brilliantly and made them even more fun.
Yeah.
So you know, you could. I love that Game Genie thing. I don't miss having to put all the codes in. Or do you want to get to the next game? All right, here's a 24-letter code you've got to memorize. Yeah, thanks, Nintendo.
It was the Game Genie that was for the Game Boy that had the codes in a little book that was on the back of the actual Game Genie.
Oh, really?
Have you got the Game Boy one there, Bladders?
I have got it.
I've never seen that. That's amazing.
It's great. Yeah. It's about the size of the Game Boy, which makes it even bizarrer. But having the little code book in the back of the Game Genie itself made for real nice and easy access. Oh, here's one we've made earlier.
There we go.
Here it is.
Oh, look at that. That's
absolutely enormous.
Oh my God. Okay. That's amazing.
There's the code book. It's so good. It's trying to find like a decent working Game Genie now is hard work. But yeah, I love that Game Boy one. Just mainly because as soon as you put it in the Game Boy, it makes it so big. So good.
Yeah.
Love it.
Got off eBay, I think.
Yeah.
That's a good find.
Yeah. Excellent stuff. Yeah, I don't know if anyone has said NES before as their favorite console.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I might have to go back and
look. I said I was peculiar. Like there's certain games that everyone plays that I don't play, and I play some random thing, and people go, "I've never heard of it." But that's good then. I'm sticking to with what I know, being odd. Yeah. So that's cool.
Running with NES, like it. Yeah. Like it. Okay.
I like the neon light in the background. I mean, you know.
Sweet six.
I nearly said something then. I'm not going to say it. Wouldn't be safe to say on this channel.
We're almost going to be after Watershed. We've got about 35 minutes, and then we got.
I'll be careful.
Okay, so for people that are living under a rock and don't know where you are, I guess, from within the gaming community.
Oh, okay.
Let's jump onto that and see where we can run with that. So Twitch is your main platform for the middle-aged gamer guy. So how did middle-aged gamer guy come about?
So I think like this story is probably very prominent for a lot of people. I think lockdown really is where it come about. I'd always wanted to do something on. Well, it wasn't on Twitch. I'm not going to lie, because I was a big Xbox fan. I was like, I'd come across Mixer, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. I'll start streaming on Mixer and play Xbox games. And about a couple of months before I decided I wanted to start, they closed Mixer down because they spent all that money on Ninja. There you go. Uno went straight back to Twitch and got paid twice as much. So I was like, okay, so what's the alternative? It is Twitch. And I thought, right, I'll give it a while. And I started playing games that had come out, and it was just like a bit of everything and anything. And Doom Eternal had just come out, so I started playing Doom Eternal. I love Sea of Thieves. I'm a big Rare fan, just because I've got Rare games that go back to the Spectrum when they were Ultimate. Rare's been through my life the whole time. So Sea of Thieves, we were streaming. We still stream Sea of Thieves every so often to this day. Thank you. That's very much. Thank you. New friend, he's not on YouTube. No, well, I am, but I'm not. I only post up all my stuff on Catch Up on YouTube, but I am mainly, my Twitch is my home. So I started on Twitch, and I was doing the odd gaming stream, and then literally a couple of weeks into it, when I actually got more than one person watching me that wasn't my mum, I lie, she never watched my streams. I decided I wanted to do a talk show, and me and my friend Dave, who's been a friend all my life, who knows far more about any computer games than I could ever know. We decided to have a talk show and just talk about what's out that week, what gaming news is happening. And you get the idea. It's a typical thing. We do it Tuesday. And it was just very lucky that like our second guest on our second show was Gary Bracey from Ocean Software. Now, I'd already met Gary previous years at other conventions, and we stayed in touch and get on very well. He was on, and he said, "Oh, I want to be on because I'm on the panel for the gaming BAFTAs." So it was quite prominent because there was games we were talking about that he was going to have to look at and review. And he was saying, you jogged my memory, I haven't looked at that one. Or, I played this last night, this was really good. So we had him on. And then since then, we've had journalists and different streamers and different YouTubers and just gaming fans. And we've done 126 shows since October of 2020.
Wow.
And, that's the main focus. And then last year, Amy came on board, producer Amy, as we like to call her. And we kind of changed the focus a bit. And we do focus on everything that is new. We do some retro stuff, like we did Sonic Origins Plus that came out the other week.
Yeah.
But we do everything that's come out. So literally anything that's we talked about on the show, we'll play that week. And that's why I've had to get all the different consoles. So, and then we just dabble in some other stuff. Like tonight, we're doing Rocket League tonight, just for a laugh. Things where we can get people involved. But that's pretty much what I do. And I'll have been doing that for coming up to 3 years in October, which is insane now. And I do this full time. This is my full-time thing. I went full-time in January.
Yeah, which is great. You know, that's so cool that you actually get to enjoy something that for some people is a hobby, but for you now it's a way to make a living. It's a full-time hobby.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
It's and I love it. So I wouldn't change it for the world. So
yeah, and you have developed like a really good core following as well. The people that really do just enjoy your content. It is great.
It's lovely. It's still, I said this earlier, OLL was weird. One that, in fact, I was invited as a guest in the first place. But this seems to be a common theme because I'm getting invited to more and more gaming events, which is just lovely because I love gaming events with a passion. But the fact there are people that I meet at these gaming events. So Dan, Game Tank, who's in the chat now, bless him, I met him at last Christmas's Nottingham Video Games Expo. And he was like, "Oh, you're such and such. I know you." And we'd never met. And we got chatting. And bless him, I think ever since Nottingham Videos, he has nearly watched. I think he's only missed a handful of streams. Bearing in mind, I'm on Monday to Friday every night. I think he only missed about 2 or 3 streams since last Christmas.
Yeah.
So like that's dedication right there. There he is. And there's a hardcore group of people. And if we go into other gaming events, we try and get people to meet up. Even if we're just attending it, we're like, come and support this event. Come and meet a load of cool people and just come and make new friends. Yeah. Because I think that's more important more than ever, to be honest, right now, especially with all the crap we've had to go through in the last couple of years with being locked in a house for like nearly 18 months or whatever.
Yeah, going stir crazy. Yeah. You know, having to take up annoying our loved ones who we live with sometimes as a full-time hobby just to keep ourselves sane. You know, that's what it was like living in this house. For anyone that maybe has thought about doing Twitch but doesn't really know how to kind of maybe get it started, what sort of things could you give people advice on? How did you sort of decide, right, Twitch is the platform I'm going to do and this is what I'm going to do to get it working?
So I did jump a step here because a lot of people start with just streaming straight from a console, which is quite easy to do, but it means you can use your console's mic. You don't have a camera. You can play. I know a lot of people do that, and then they go and then put a camera. I kind of jumped it because I kind of did a bit of research and was reading books, not only looking at YouTube channels, but actually reading books. Like I did actually buy An Idiot's Guide to Twitch. I do not. It's a really, really good book. And it's kind of just learned things like, right, buy the right mic, buy this, buy that. But it was literally, I started in my living room, but I had like internet cables going across the living room floor into the kitchen where the hub was. I was using the big TV, so I had the HDMI's crossing the floor. And that was for about 4 months, which really annoyed the people that I live with, up until the point that I finally got a good studio and I had a dedicated studio. And we had like a sofa so we could have once COVID got out of the way, you could have guests on the sofa and stuff, chat to the mini fridge and things. And like I still got loads of boxes with the stuff. There's only a selection of stuff here, but I had walls of stuff and artwork. So I love that studio with passion, but obviously I'm in between places at the moment. But it was more of like, just don't go too mad. Start small, buy the basic bits of kit and go with what you've got and then kind of go from there. And it was just that. And at the time, the idea was let's just start playing stuff I love, and then see if other people love it. And then I kind of looked at certain things and going, okay, some people like this stuff more than that stuff, so I kind of adhered to the audience. And then it was kind of like, what's ever coming out on Xbox, let's focus on that. And then from there, as I say, meeting Amy, who I work with, she was basically like, right, I want to tweak some things, because Amy used to be a Twitch partner. So she knows her stuff, right? So she's been there, done that, got the t-shirt. And she was like, you need to change a lot of things and it will help. And then we refocused it. Because at one point, this is the one thing I'll say. This is the tip I'd say. Only do a few streams a week. Don't do what I did. Because at one point, I was loving it so much, I was doing 13 streams a week.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was doing afternoons and evenings 7 days a week, which is insane.
Wow.
That is hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is nuts. And it was only until Amy came along and going, are you mad? What are you doing? And it was like, right, okay. And then we slimmed it down and we dropped it down to like 10. From 10 went down to 7. And 7 it's gone down to like 5 nights a week now. I don't even do afternoons anymore. And then it's been very focused on, right, the brand is, we do the talk show on a Tuesday, talk about everything that's out. So then the other content is, well, let's have a look at these games. Do we think the reviewers are actually correct to say, no, this is rubbish, it's got a 4 out of 10? Because sometimes we've played some games and gone, this is way better than the reviewers are saying. And then there's ones that we've had have got like 9 out of 10s and we're going, yeah, this is rubbish. Why is it getting so much hype? So we just give an honest opinion. So,
yeah. With streaming in the afternoon, then are there people that do that quite regularly and get good views?
Yeah, this is the thing. So my original thing was I could do this as a 9 to 5. I'd probably do it. But I do see a lot of people. There's a lot of big streamers, especially in the UK. So they pick up like the certain audiences, especially like student audiences, because when they're supposed to be studying, they're really watching Twitch, which I don't blame them really. But then it was kind of like I found my audience in the evenings, and we've never really changed that time because we pick up the American audience because it's late afternoon going through for them. I've got quite a lot of people from Australia, so I've got people from Canada and that. For people in Europe that watch me, it's only an hour before. Like I'm only an hour behind for them. So they try to drift off by about 11 o'clock at night because it's midnight for them. But then for the Australians, they have basically, it's their morning. So I've got Australians who have literally got up, got their kids to school and gone, right, I've got a couple, I'm going to watch you now, which is a nice thought. So for me, I think I found my thing. But I think Twitch has got that thing, wherever you stream. I know English streamers that start streaming at 1 o'clock in the morning, but their audience is solely American and Canadian. But that works for them. But I'm a man of many people, so I'll try and get everyone happy. So
I don't think I could imagine streaming at 1 o'clock in the morning. I am a night owl for sure. I prefer being up at night than I do getting up early in the morning. But yeah, the idea of sort of starting work of some sorts at 1 o'clock in the morning just seems that's hardcore. Again, I much prefer the idea that you have, where you sort of stream normal sort of time in the evenings for a few hours and then go to bed and still have a day. You're not pulling a night shift or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I am a bit of a night owl though, because like even after I've streamed, I'll be watching other people, or I'll be getting emails from devs or people in America. So I'm still working, and I tend to go to bed at like anything between 2 or 4 in the morning. I don't. I'm very rock and roll. I won't roll out of bed until 11 o'clock in the morning, and start my working day at midday. Yeah. So I am like that. But yeah, for me, I've got into those hours, so I'm happy with that, and that works for me. So I know it doesn't work for everyone.
I was saying I've dabbled in it a little bit because I got myself a Steam Deck, and I mainly just use that to stream through. Yeah. So I basically just stream through my Steam Deck. It's got HDMI, got a lot of ports, and mine. But so many times I come in and use as OBS. I use a few times, and I go in and like the setup worked last time when I go in and set it, and I literally just change whatever I'm playing, and maybe PS2 or whatever, and it comes back, it don't work. Yeah, so I'm like effing and jeffing trying to get everything working.
It's that thing. I swear, like I've had it. I had it one time where I had settings all saved for many months, and about 5 minutes away from stream, booted everything up, went on it, and it had wiped everything. I hadn't even done anything, and I literally had to build my setup, race to do it. I think I got on 5 minutes late, but it's because I got used to knowing how to do it. I quickly did drop that scene in there, put that intro in, and like I've got like a Stream Deck and other things and multiple mics and things now because I've learned to get stuff. So backups, if a mic fails, I can jump to another mic. But it is that thing that I do like, that is that streaming is accessible to everyone. So if you're shy, you don't want to be on a camera, or as you say, you've just got a Steam Deck and you thought, oh, Steam this, and say, do it. Yes, I am. True. I want to suck your blood. But I think that's a nice thing about streaming. It's accessible for everyone now. So you can do it however you want. There's multiple ways. You don't need a big setup. You don't need lots of stuff. You do it in stages. That's kind of how I did it.
I think what I did last year is I was just dabbling it, see what it'd be like. We just started like a TikTok account, and I literally just had it on a tripod facing my screen, and I completed Hit and Run, Simpsons Hit and Run on PS2.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and, I love that.
But they were helping me and pushing me and telling me where I had to go and how I. Do you know what I mean? So it's not always easy playing games in front of the world, but like when I was just like, thought, you know what, I'll just give it a go, and I really enjoyed it. I need to get back on that. As I said, where I work in schools, I've got 6 weeks coming off, so I think I'll get back into that. Yeah.
I think the beautiful thing about Twitch is, and everyone will vouch for this, there'll be people in the chat that know me, you don't have to be good at games. I mean, my gaming skill is zero. Like, I'm going to put that out right now. I'm not. If anyone saw me at OLL, we got knocked out the first thing in the tournament, and we were playing Sonic the Hedgehog, which is probably the easiest game ever, right? So gaming skill is zero. But it's how you have fun with it and how you interact with your audience. And I think that is just the key of it. I think this is the thing I learned. And again, Amy's brought this up. Nobody actually cares what you're playing. To a certain extent, when you start out, yes, they might. But you get to a point where I could play any old thing and I can play it badly. As long as the audience are having a laugh at me or at my expense or going up, that's cool because you're having a laugh with them. That's what I've learned. It's the interactivity and everything with it. So, So I'm never going to be good at games. I'm never going to try to be good at games. I am happy where I am. I am being an awful gamer. I am. So that's it.
You're not awful. Yeah, not awful.
I'm just really below, like below average, and whatever comes below average, below that. That's where I sit, and I'm good with it.
Comfortable in lukewarm, that lukewarm territory.
I'm lukewarm at games. I like that. I'll say that.
Excellent. And what would you say, before we move on to our next topic, what would you say is the thing? At what point did you suddenly think, right, my audience has grown to this sort of point now where I can effectively do this full time now? Or was there something you think that sort of got you to that bit? You know, I know you said Amy sort of helped you revamp the channel a bit. Yeah,
do you know what? I think what it was probably before Amy come on board, because Amy come on board May of last year, but we went to EGX 2021, which was technically the first gaming event after COVID, and it was a very sparse event compared to what you're normally used to. There you go. See, it wasn't even talking about games. Yeah. So James is brilliant. Bless you. Thank you, James. We said, look, there hasn't been a gaming event for over 2 years. Why don't people just come and meet us and we'll have a laugh? And, you know, we managed to get about 15, 20 people turn up at Excel on a Saturday. And after the event we went, we'll have a laugh. We'll do a live stream. So we sat in the bar and did a live stream off a mobile phone. And we were all around the table and we got everyone to introduce themselves and just had a laugh. And then bless them, they got me this. They made me this, which was a little Twitch award. And I didn't know. And it basically just said at the time, thank you for reaching 500 followers at the time. And the woman that made it apologized because by the time I'd been at 800 when they gave it me, which I didn't care about, but it looked really cool. And I practically after I was at that event and had those people that wanted to come and meet me and chat to me, it was like, I want to do this full time. it took me longer than that because I was quite boasting and got on Facebook and went, October 2022, I'm going to be full time, blah, blah, blah. Well, it took a little bit longer because it took me another 4 or 5 months to get that way. But that's what spurred me on, getting that, like having people coming to meet me. Because again, I still have that thing of imposter syndrome of like, why are people interested in talking to me? Why do people actually care about my opinions?
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw Game Tank say, I've saved him a lot of money on games. So obviously I must be doing something right because I must be talking in some sort of sense. I must have saved him thousands of pounds now on games that he was like, oh, I want to get that. Oh, no, that's rubbish. I won't get that now. So, yeah, I'm doing something right. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think just like Scott's just put there in the chat, a fantastic personality does go a really long way. And, you know, like you've said, you don't necessarily have to be good at the game, but as long as you've got something engaging about you.
Marathon game, wherever we may meet, wherever you're on. Except I don't drink. I'm teetotal. Sorry to say that. But I'll buy you a beer and you can buy me a lemonade.
Cup of tea.
Yeah, got another cup of tea. Yeah, there you go. I'll do.
Stiff water.
Yeah. Oh, with some ice.
Ice cold.
Yeah, water on the rocks.
And a lemon.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I might be pushing it a bit. I don't know.
So, speaking of gaming conventions, let's get to your event, which is the Timeless Gaming Convention. So, before we dive into you talking about it, let's see. You've given me a bit of a helpful hint already to try and get this working smooth as butter. So let's play a trailer. And,
if it doesn't work, you can blame it on me. All right, that I will take that. I tried to give Ollie a hint on how to run things on StreamYard. So if it doesn't work, I will take the flak. I'm cool with that.
Excellent. I like this. It's full blown. Excellent. Right, here we go. Let's that's all come up on the screen now. So let's give it a go.
No one. So why do we do this at gaming conventions all the time? Standing there, not knowing where to put your arms, and if you're standing weird. I paid money to come to a public place to feel self-conscious. What is wrong with it? Introducing Timeless, the gaming convention for gamers. It's a gaming convention that focuses on what we love the most: playing games. Building our communities, having fun. Wednesday, 16th of August, in Europe's biggest arcade, the Arcade Club in Manchester. With over 300 arcade machines, ranging from futuristic to retro games, a ton of pool tables, air hockey, and pinball machines. You can play to your heart's content. This is a convention too, so there's going to be a wide range of gaming competitions, leading industry legends, panel discussions, and merch stands. And closing the event, coming all the way from Canada, Twitch DJ sensation DJ Mike Storm. So what are you waiting for? Go to timelessgaming.co.uk to get your tickets now. Timeless Gaming. It's never game over.
Beautiful.
Smooth, isn't
it? So
I can't take any credit for that. That is all, again, Amy's handiwork and a mate of the channel's, Jesse. And the guy doing the voiceover, I was saying earlier, it's a mate of mine. From Ireland, who's a YouTuber, and he was like, I can do a really smooth voiceover. I was like, beautiful. We did. So doing that, it's brilliant. But yeah, we're really chuffed with that. So
yeah. So tell us about the Timeless Gaming Convention. How has that come about?
So last year, when again, and to a lot of annoyances, there was a lot of gaming events that could have taken place that didn't. And I'm going to be really brutal. This used the COVID card when there was no reason to use it. So I'm not going to say what the events are, but there was some that we were supposed to attend, and they just pulled them with like a week's notice, and it was really frustrating that they used that.
Wow.
I'd had a conversation with a game dev, and he said, I reckon you could do a better job. He says, I watch your talk show every Tuesday night. You could put on a gaming convention. He said, you and another guy I know, and that guy's a chap called Brad Burton. And if you don't know who he is, he used to share the commentary box with Dominic Diamond. Mm-hmm. I think he was on like 10 or 12 episodes of Games Master. And him and me have been mates for many years. And he's in a very different world now. He's not in the gaming. He used to be a gaming journalist and stuff. And so we got together and went, okay, but where do we do this? And Brad went, I know this amazing place that nobody's ever heard of. And it's Arcade Club, which is just about 20 minutes outside Manchester City Centre. So I went to check it out. And it's insane. It is, when I first went there, it's 3 floors of just nothing but arcade machines, pinball machines. Wow. But you've got the top floor, there's over 300 retro machines. Second floor is all the new stuff from Japan, the Candy Cabs, Tekken Cabs, Guitar Hero, Time Crisis, all this sort of stuff. The first floor is all the new stuff. So they've got like 4D Luigi's Mansion. They've got this machine, a machine where 4 of you have guns. That's in the trailer because all the photos from that are from last year's event. Yeah. So there's that. They've got all the pinball machines. And then just as we launched the event, they'd opened the ground floor. So they had VR games and pool tables and other stuff. So we were quite lucky. So we basically threw this thing together in 6 months, just by the string of teeth. Got a couple of contacts. We managed to get Gary Bracey on board. We did an Ocean reunion panel. So you had a couple of people from Ocean. Adam Sawkins was in the trailer there, the guy that did Burnout. He did a talk and then was playing against people live on stage. We had that. We had Kim Justice, interviewed Kim Justice, Paul McNally, who's an editor of gaming magazines for 30 years. And we did Games Master style challenges. So we did the event. I'm not going to lie, we blagged our way through it, but it went really well. And we wanted to do it again. But then there was a few little things that happened. And Brad, obviously, is not in the games industry anymore. He's in sort of the speaking industry and he flies all over the world. So trying to pin him down is really difficult. And we were about to announce that we were going to do the next one. And a lot of time had gone by. And I was like, I wanted to announce it like the month after we'd done it. And we got to like literally March this year. And I'm like, dude, if we're going to do this, we need to do this now because we're running out of time. Yeah. And I can't do it. I'm too busy flying all over the world and stuff. And he went, but I reckon you can do it. And I was like, okay, but I can't do this by myself. So Amy obviously stepped in and went, look, I want to be a part of this. Let's be business partners on it. So Amy and me got together and had a bit of a rethink because last year we did focus a lot on the retro. But then we were like, the funny thing was we looked at the audience and it was all well and us good going on about the retro, but there was a lot of audience members there that were like, oh, but you didn't do anything that's new. And we know you for talking about stuff that's new. And when you go to the venue, it's, I'd say 50% retro, 50% new stuff because there are like Nintendo Switches to play, Xboxes, etc. Mm-hmm. And Amy said, why don't we do something that basically serves the best of everything retro and the best of everything today? So we totally rebranded, and that's why it's called Timeless Gaming Convention. So we're celebrating everything gaming, which is really, really cool. So what we've got lined up for this year, we said we'll do it again. We rejigged it. We've got the 4 floors open, and we have got a Legends gaming panel this year, which is funny. There's a funny story with this. And I actually had to message James from It's Much More because I wanted to say, dude, we're not copying you. This is just really bad luck because we wanted to get Kev Bayliss last year. Yeah. But he couldn't do it. So we approached Kev back in March and Kev was like, yeah, I can do it and I can bring someone else along. So we'd had them confirmed. And then the lads from Knott's Video Games Expo announced that they got Kev and Paul, bless them, on. And we were like, oh, shit. So we were like, oh, dear. And we was like, well, what do? We don't want to cancel them. But then Amy had a good point and say, well, Kev turns up to loads of gaming events because he was at Format. We were at Format and he was at Format in Manchester back in May. And we were like, well, yeah, that's not such a bad thing because people who might miss Nottingham Video Games Expo can come to this. And obviously he was at Nottingham Video Games Expo last December. And he's there again with even more rare people. So we were like, right, okay, we've got him on. We've got Paul Manichek, who's still at Rare, and he works on a game I love, Sea of Thieves. And then we got let's think, we got oh my god, I'm going to forget all the names now. This is embarrassing. If you click on the news bit, you're going to save my. But actually, I've got this website. Do you know what? I'm going to check. We've got the guys from Rare. I'm terrible, but then we've got a host, which is the Retro Games Master Pete Ward, who's a journalist. So he's going to host the panel, and then you can see there we've got Rich Stevenson, who worked on Jungle Strike. He worked on Zool. He worked on R-Type. So he worked on a load of things, and then we've got obviously Nick Clarkson, who worked for Ocean, Gremlin for Grams. He's now at Team 17. There he is. There's Nick. So we've got all them. But then again, we thought we'd do something a bit different. So they're going to be our headline act before we do the cosplay, because we do a cosplay competition. We get everyone to turn up in cosplay, and we give out prizes. You might have seen there, last year we gave away a PlayStation 5 just for people turning up. Well, this year we've partnered with Backbone. So we've got a PlayStation Backbone and an Xbox Backbone. And if anyone doesn't know what it is, you basically plug your phone into it on cloud gaming, and the Xbox One, you can play Xbox, Steam, and mobile games. And it's like an Xbox controller. And the PlayStation One, you can play PlayStation, Steam, and mobile games on.
Nice.
Than the thing that PlayStation's bringing out, because it's worth 100 quid, and PlayStation are bringing out a 300 quid thing that you can only use on Wi-Fi. Well, this you can take anywhere with you. It's so much better. So they've jumped in with us. We're doing the gaming tournaments again, so we're doing Games My Style, but again, we're focusing on the retro and the new. So we're doing a Rocket League tournament because people said they wanted that. We did a Mario Kart tournament last year. We're doing that again. We're repeating that. We're doing a Space Invaders competition. We're doing Sonic the Hedgehog competition. We're doing a Street Fighter 6 tournament because we did Street Fighter versus Tekken last year. We've got 3 others to announce. I will say, because I'll let you guys have the first thing, we are going to do a GoldenEye competition.
Nice.
So we're doing that because we've never done that before. And then there's one more retro, and then there's one modern one that we did last year that we've been asked to bring back. So there's 2 things we're bringing back and 6 new ones. But then we also thought, well, what's helpful for people? So, it's all well and good having these, gaming legends on stage talking about, the games they worked on. But people also wanted to know, we said we had people that wanted to know about, how do I become a games developer? I want to get into podcasting. How do I do that? I want to be a streamer. I want to be a games journalist. So we put together these other panels. So we've got Simran Whiteham, who's from Format, who's basically gone from starting a little thing at Manchester Uni with 20 people, and then brought Format out, which is Manchester's that basically is the UK's #1 nightlife gaming event, which had 1,500 people turn up, and now he's running it twice a year. And he pulls in sponsors like Team 17, Ubisoft. So he's done it brilliantly, and he's grown. Yeah. So he's going to be talking about how he did that.
Because he does that. I don't know if he does it with, but we had a streamer on earlier in the year, Saint Michelle. And
yes,
I know. She does some bits for that as well. So we keep hearing things about Format, and
it's really good.
I'm itching to go this year. I'm really trying to figure out how I can make some of these things work, because otherwise divorce is on the cards for me.
Well, this is the thing. We went to the one in May, and we were at the one in May. They've announced this Halloween one, but I've got another event in Essex first thing in the morning, and I'm like, ugh. So I haven't said to him yes or no if I'm committing or not. But me and Game Tank were talking about, well, if we bomb it up from the Midlands, go there and then do the drive back, and we do it. So we might be there. But then, so we've got him. Obviously, we've got the gaming legends. We've got a number of different podcasters. We met the guys that were in OLL. We asked them to come on. The lads from Unofficial Controller Podcast. We met a couple of lads from Manchester called Good Luck Have Fun. So they're going to be talking about podcasting and how they got into it and sharing tips. We're going to have different Twitch streamers and YouTubers. We've got a streamer coming over from Ireland. We haven't announced who we've got yet. I need to keep that secret, otherwise I'll get a slap wrist. But then we've got a gaming journalism panel. So we brought Paul McNally back, who we had on last year, but he's going to be the guest host. So he's going to actually chair it. and we've got Debug magazine there.
Yep.
We've got Pixel Addict, Amiga Addict, and they're going to share the differences of running a magazine 30 years ago to now. And then Debug are a partner. They've got their own gaming area where we've got 12 new indie games that feature in the magazine. So they've got a game on the third floor. On the second floor, we've got Geek Retreat, who we partnered up again. So we've got tabletop, board games, card games there, and they show you how to play everything from Pokemon to Warhammer. There's another 2 partners that I can't announce yet, but we hope to announce by the end of this week. Again, Amy will give me a slap wrist if I say. And yeah, we've just jam-packed all that, plus the fact that you've got 400 plus machines to play free for 12 hours.
Yeah.
And you don't have to put a coin in them or anything. You pay, you buy your ticket, you come in. Last year, we had people say, I sat and watched the main stage, didn't see anything else. And then we had other people said, I didn't even see any of the content on the main stage. I just stayed and played, worked my way up the floors, played the games. There's a restaurant in the place. The food is cheap. There's a bar on every floor. We had 2 lots of people that did a bar crawl that kept going up and down all day. So they'd have a beer, some machines on that floor, and then go to the next bar. And they were completely hammered by the end of it, but they had a great whale of a time. Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's our event. There you go.
Again, it's another event that it just sounds so much fun. And man, I wish there was a way I could. I wish there was a way we could get up there basically for it. It's just
I'm going to say this again, not to put any pressure on you whatsoever, but we'd really like to have some of you guys on for our podcasting thing and come down on us free and enjoy the day. So you don't even have to buy a ticket. But we look. Take half an hour of your time. Just put it out there that you could be on that panel. Just saying, just putting that thing out there. That little idea, just there.
I would love to make it work. I'll have to maybe get someone to chat to my missus about it. But I think it's.
I'll do it if you want. Again, happy to take the flak. I'll take the flak for anything. I've said that before. So
Amazing.
Yeah. There you go.
Excellent. I'll put you in touch. I shall put you in touch.
Fine.
Excellent. Well, I mean, it does just sound like a phenomenal, an absolutely phenomenal event. And we really, really just can't wait. Yeah, I can see there is some. I can see there is some bits in the chat there. For some reason on StreamYard, the chat appears to have completely frozen on our part. So
it has, hasn't it? I've only just realised that myself. Apologies,
everyone, that is chucking bits up in the chat there. Where we are live, as we like to say when things go wrong. But I can see just from on YouTube that there is a lot of people still sort of chatting away there. So we haven't completely ignored you. It's just we've really just noticed now that
I thought that was
chat
me.
in StreamYard is not flowing through. No,
it's weird.
StreamYard's had a funny 5 minutes, so I'm sure we'll report it. And whoever Tim reports these issues to, I'm sure he'll come back to us with an email and confuse the hell out of Ryan again. Right. Yeah. So eagerly aware that you are going to be streaming this evening, and we are almost going to start getting into your time. So let's get to our last couple of topics for you. So the one that we threw at you, which we'd like to do for everyone that comes on, is our Waller's Remaster. So for people that haven't seen the show before, this is in dedication to our very good friend Rick Waller. And ever since Rick Waller has been on the show, we have done a Waller's Remaster where we ask every guest to talk about up to 3 games that they think need to be remastered or completely remade for a new audience. So, Paul, what are your Waller's Remasters?
Well, do you know what? I think there's a game that everyone wants to be remastered that, it's been dying to be remastered, and I think it couldn't be remastered anymore, and that's The Last of Us. I think we need another remaster of The Last of Us. Don't think it's ever been done before. I think if they could do that, like they do a COD and remaster it every year, the 2024 edition, that's what we would. No, I'm joking. No one needed 3 remasters of. No one needed that. Love that game, perfect as it was. Nobody needed two remasters, or whatever. All serious. 2 games that I love. One is a NES game. Do you know what? I again comes back to my love of Rare and Ultimate. But they brought out a great game on the NES, Solar Jetman.
I remember that.
I love that. It was hard as nails. but it had such good humour. And you're going around and collecting like English
keep
telephone
talking.
boxes.
It's not often I get to pull this out. So.
No way,
Yeah,
he's got
I'm loving this. English telephone boxes, Easter Island heads. Some of the maps were insane that you had to go on. And I just love the jetpack. But to me, it was like the ultimate jetpack game because they made it such a better game with what they did.
It was a game that my dad bought me long ago when we were just getting games, and it just
mate,
it's so good. I used to get so frustrated with it as a kid.
Yeah, because the gravity system was insane, and sometimes you could just fly around willy-nilly, or it would be really pulling you back, so you're consuming more fuel, and you had to think about what you did. And it's just some of the jokes in it, like the little bonus games. Like if you did something wrong, like something would blow up your face, and the car is because he looked like a really cocky, like astronaut with like a double chin, like sort of very Bruce Campbell-esque. And like something wrong, like he had that thing that you see in comic books where like he had smoke in his face and something blow up. So it had good humor in it as well. Overall, it was such a good game, and I'd really love to see how they could make that a remaster. I think that deserves it.
I'm all in on that. Wow, no one has said that before, so I am all in on Solar Jet, man.
And then my other one, again, probably a bit of an odyssey. I don't know if anyone will notice this. Is a game that was on PS2, which a lot of people dissed off as a GTA clone, but it was called Total Overdose.
Okay, yeah.
Which was the game where you played a Mexican cop who was pretending to be. Well, no, you didn't play a Mexican cop. You were a Mexican gangster that his brother was a cop, but he gets in an accident, so you have to pose, great sort of Tarantino-esque thing, pose as his brother to take down the rest of the drug barons. And there was little quips and things and mentions of other games, and you could jump in the air. So it was like semi-Max Payne, semi-GTA, but again, a humour. There was like a luchador moment where you put a mask on and go around, instead of hitting piñatas, twatting people with a wooden stick and knocking them out and getting bonus things for it. And it was just great fun. I love that game a lot. And again, I would love to see how they remastered that. The combat in that was solid. It was brilliant. Very well done. It just didn't get much love, unfortunately.
Yeah. Excellent. I thoroughly like those picks, I have to say. You've sold me with the Solar Jetman pick, so immediately there's another reason that we can be friends. This is awesome. Insane. And our next one that we like to do, which is dedicated to Liam McGuff, which is Liam's Love to Hate. So this is any game that you know is maybe a bit pap, but you still love it anyway. Yeah.
So this is really funny. I really loved Wheelman with Vin Diesel on the Xbox 360. This was a game that apparently was going to go along with a film, which never happened because then I think the Transporter happened. So it's basically the Transporter, but with Vin Diesel. And it's a terrible game. I mean, Vin Diesel sounds like he got really drunk and recorded the voiceovers while he was half asleep. He looks purple. His character thing looks purple. So you're wondering if he's got really bad jaundice or something. Half his face is yellow, half is purple. But it was just a really bad racing game, but so much fun. And the thing is, like, you like Chase HQ was more realistic in the fact that you'd have to ram the cars from the back to the side. This had this weird thing where you could press this button and gravity would shift the car just like across horizontally, which if you did that, you'd blow all your tires. Like it's like a James Bond film where your tires turn that way and goes. But you just ram cars like that. And it was ludicrous, but it was such good fun. And I must have played hours because it was set in Barcelona. And the thing is, I remember going on holiday to Barcelona, and there were certain areas that were in that game for quite a low quality game that were in like the big marina and the statues. And you go, this is actually quite like, they've got this down to a T. Barcelona actually looks really good. Yeah. It's just a shame that the game was absolutely shocking, but it was just such good fun. Hijack a car at 120 miles per hour. And look, I brought up the YouTube chat because obviously stuff, but it was just total nonsense, but great fun. And I kept going back to it because I wanted to get that S level. I didn't want to get a B or a C. I wanted to get an S level on all the bits. And it was just that even the story was absolute trash, but it was it was fun.
But it was fun. Yeah, I do like these sorts of games when these sorts of things come out, and I get it sometimes with music and movies. You know, sometimes they're not great, but you know, a Big Mac isn't great either. But I still enjoy one every now and then. Sometimes it's nice to just have something which is just serves its purpose, doesn't require me to think too much, and you can just absorb it and dive into it. I think when we were talking before we went on air, the one for me is always Terminator Resistance.
Yes,
it tries its best to sell itself as this RPG with with all these choices and systems, and ultimately none of it makes an ounce of difference to what happens in the game. It just doesn't.
Like Sorry, just had to get that in there.
I defend Cyberpunk to the end.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No, trash.
Oh,
absolute trash.
Dang.
Wasted 17 weeks of my life on that. 17 weeks of my life.
I picked it up for a tenner and I ain't even played it yet.
Good. I am going to give the DLC. I will say I will give the DLC a fair shout when it comes out in September, but I massively was disappointed by that. Not just for the technical reason. I think by the time you get through to the end of the game and the story and multiple endings, that whole thing of you choose your path and it affects the story. No, it just changes the start of the game and that's it. That was a massive thing they sold that game on, and they basically lied. So CD Projekt Red, it's past 9 o'clock. To you. There you go.
It's a shame because I've only played through it once, and I always said I would go back and do another class. Get the PS5 update out. I'm sure there'll be a physical disc. I'll hold fire, which will come with all the DLC on it. But you're saying it doesn't really actually make much difference to the story at all?
No, it only changes the start. You get 3 different starts to the game, but then depending on what you do, there are different endings.
Yeah,
but you could get the same different endings if you stayed in that one class of character. It's more about the people that you decide to have relationships with or go off and do missions with that change that ending. It's nothing to do with your class of character, which is really massively disappointing.
Yeah, that is a shame, especially seeing as how big the game is. That is a shame. Dang,
it's got a platinum on it apparently.
Good on you. Look, I know a lot of people loving it. I know people who've gone into that game like literally last year and loving it. Fair play. I just can't be, after wasting 17 weeks of my life on it, I just can't be bothered to waste any more time on it. So it's done for me. There's no love left, unfortunately.
Yeah. Dang, what a shame. What a shame.
It happens.
We can't end on a downer. So
no, let's
we are going to end on a slightly an upper. So come on.
Can I just say also, I know loads of people have been asking questions which we've not been able to see. Just DM me and I'm happy to answer any questions over the next 24 hours because I know there's people asking stuff about Twitch as well. So feel free to just drop me a line either on my Twitch or my YouTube and I'll happily answer any questions because I feel bad that it's technology. It's nobody's fault that we can't read questions.
I can read some out anyway. I've got them on a...
Thank you. I'll try and get back to everyone. So my apologies that we've not been able to answer questions.
No worries, buddy. So that would lead us to where can people find you on the interwebs?
Okay. So I'm Middle Age Gamer Guy UK on Twitch. You can find me as Middle Age Gamer Guy on YouTube. I'm not a YouTuber, I'm going to say that, but you can see everything that I've ever done in the last 2.5 years. It's basically my library. So if you ever missed anything, you can go back there. Twitch, you can watch the last 2 months of stuff that I've done on there. I am on Insta. I am on Facebook as Middle Age Gamer Guy. I am on Twitter. And if you fancy checking out our event, that is www.timelessgaming.co.uk. So there you go. That's everything and everything you need to know about me.
Beautiful. Well, it has been an absolute joy to have you on. I know we've been talking about it.
It's been brilliant.
No, we've been talking about it since March.
Yes.
So it was originally going to happen a bit later, so I'm glad we've been able to bring it forward ever so slightly, just so that we could talk about Timeless, because that's going to be a fantastic event.
And go support Nottingham Video Games Expo. I don't want to. Listen, the lads gave me a plug when they were on a couple of weeks ago. So I don't want to seem like an arsehole. So I want to make sure go check out, because they'll be like, oh, well, we plugged him and he did. So no, genuinely love the guys from Nottingham Video Games Expo. I'm absolutely wounded I can't be there a week on Saturday. but go support it. It was a brilliant event last December. So go support that as well, people. Do it. They're great lads.
That is going to be a lot of good fun. Myself and Tim are doing a one-day trip up to Nottingham. So we're driving up at the crack of dawn, and we will be driving home later in the evening as well. So it's going to be a long day, but it's going to be a good day. Genuinely can't wait. And then, yes, for everybody else, do go and check out Timeless as well. Get your tickets in for that, because, again, that looks like it's going to be an absolutely belting event. I'll pass my wife's email address on to you. You can try and convince her that it's a good idea.
I've already I've been known for many marriage breakups by luring people to gaming events. So yeah, I know good lawyers. So if that helps.
That could be a good help, actually. Yeah. That might work. That might work.
No, I'm not going to ruin someone's marriage. No, we'll see.
Thank you everyone who has been watching this along live. Thank you to everyone in the chat. I can see that there are lots of people in the chat. The chat has been busy again this evening, so thank you all so much. I'm sorry for the last sort of 20 odd minutes we've not been able to see much of the chat, but it is there. We've kind of been flitting backwards and forwards with it, so thank you so much for joining. If you have found us through the interwebs, or you have come over from Middle Age Gamer Guys various channels and streams, and you've liked what you've seen, do consider hitting that subscribe button. It helps us out an absolute ton. Give the video a little cheeky thumbs up as well, just so that we know that you've been here. And any of the topics that we've been discussing, please keep the conversations going in the comment section. We do like going through that. Sometimes it's not such a nasty place when everybody is all being nice to each other in the comments. Doesn't happen very often, but thank you all for watching. Thank you again to Paul for joining us, and we will
guys.
Excellent, and we will see you all in the next video. So good evening, everyone.